I think our country really is built around a car. It's very much an auto-centric culture we live in.
It would take a complete switch to something other than cars that would make me stop driving.
We were looking for a way to engage people to leave their cars in park more often. Wanted to do it in a fun and positive way. So one day I came up with the term undriving, and from there it was a pretty short hop to the idea of the undriver license. We issue undriver licenses to people who make a pledge to reduce their car use in the coming month in a way that might work for them, and we really invite them to think about what they could do to either drive less themselves or encourage others to drive less.
I'm all for saving the earth and alternate modes of transportation, but seeing as where I live, it's too complicated to take the bus. It's a lot easier for me to drive a car.
I decided to use bicycling as a means of transportation because I started worrying about my health.
Well, I've been car-free for about 5.5 years now, and it actually started with a car accident that was my fault. I was pretty shook up as a result of that. No one was seriously injured, fortunately, but my old car was pretty damaged, and I decided first to not repair it and then to not replace it. But it wasn't a empowered choice to go car-free at all. I was actually really quite scared of my capacity to not pay attention. And I think with undriving too, people can come to that kind of decision in a much more empowered way.
And luckily I live in Seattle, which is one of the top bike-friendly cities. It's actually ranked number 4 right now in the States for bike-friendly cities. And there's great bike paths, and I have a beautiful commute along Myrtle Edwards Park to get to work, so it's pretty safe. Lucky for me. I don't think everybody has that opportunity, but for me it's great.
Seattle in general has a great bike program, I guess. I mean, they put bike lanes in almost everywhere.
I think if people would just actually give biking a try once in a while, like Bike Month is coming up in May, I think it'd be great because I think people would realize that it's actually, if you live within the city, it's a pretty easy way to get to work. It's sometimes, for me, it's actually shorter to bike than it is to drive because traffic is so bad. And you get your exercise, you get to work feeling pretty good, and if workplaces, like my workplace actually has a shower and stuff, so I can take showers, which is great. But you know, so it takes actually the employer kind of encouraging people to bike to work, have incentives for people that bike, and there's a lot of employers in this area that do that. But I think if people just gave it a try, they realize how enjoyable it is, and I think you'd get a lot more people biking and a lot less traffic.
I'm excited about the idea of undriving contributing to what seems to be a bit of a movement toward young people not being so focused on getting a driver's license as they used to be in the past. And I think really it's for the young people that we're working on this, and the more empowered young people we can make, the better.
I think it's a lot in terms of parents. You know, if you take your kids out for fun bike rides, they're going to be more likely to look at biking as a way of getting around the city when they're older because it's something that they've done a lot as a child.
My dad is a biker, and I know that he has some problems with people cutting him off, and a lot of people say that bikers get in the way. But I actually haven't seen that happen. I don't have problems with bikers. I think bikers are great.
The number one thing we need to do to affect the climate crisis is change the way people think. And that turns out to not be such an easy thing to do according to research, but the undriver license really does spark people's curiosity. They tap into their own resourcefulness and come up with an experiment that they could do, and it really does lead to change, and then they want to share that with other people.
I like that I can take myself from place to place without having to depend on my parents, and I guess it's freeing. It's nice to know that I have that option.
we might think we lose freedom, but there's a tremendous amount of freedom in not having a car.